Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. The other day when I was doing my... Did you make it out of there okay? Huh? You had to hurry up and bust the door down and get out in front of me, didn't you? Anyway, the other day when I was doing the ball joints on my truck, I do have the passenger side done. I still need to do the driver's side, but it's not as bad as what the passenger side was. I did notice that my track bar bushing is very, very sloppy, and that is that end right there. Hopefully you can see it. Going to be replacing that end. I got a hold of Carli Suspension, and they sent me out a new track bar bushing. Of course, paid for it with the kit, and comes with everything. He gives a couple of bushings and some misalignment spacers, which you do not need the misalignment spacers. You're going to use one bushing. I'm not sure which one it is yet, whether it's a long one or a short one. I don't know until I get it apart. And then it did come with new poly bushings. The more I got to thinking about it, I think I'm going to go ahead and put that in because it does need replaced. It was only like $42 for both of those kits from Carli. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut the end of that off, and I'm going to use a welded nut cert in there. I'm going to put an adjustable heim joint on that end also. I saw some other track bars that has that on there, so I think I'm going to do the same thing. And instead of buying a whole new track bar, all I'm going to do is figure out what the inside diameter is of that pipe, and then just get a nut cert and heim joint to go in there, whatever size it would be. I've saw some of them online, and I do follow Ballistic Fabrication on Instagram, so I may be able to maybe get a hold of them or something like that, and they just sell me a heim joint with misalignment spacers that will go on that end with the nut cert. So I want to do some checking around and making some phone calls and see what size that is. But for the time being, it is pretty bad, so I am going to replace it with that poly one because there is quite a bit of movement. Turning the steering wheel, there's probably about, I would say, at least a good ½ inch of deflection within that bushing, so that's going to allow for your steering to just go and wander all over the place. And with the 12.5 wides that are on the truck, it doesn't really help anything. So it should be pretty straightforward and simple to replace that bushing, but you know what, I say that in every single video, and in probably 90% of the videos it always takes longer than what I ever dreamed. So with that being said, you know, I can sit here all day long and talk and say it's going to be real quick and easy, but until you actually do it, you have no idea on how it's going to come apart and what it's going to be like. So next week I am going to be working half days, so hopefully I'll be able to get some more videos shot. I do have some other work that I need to do, but crash report, where are we at with that? We are in the midst of receiving the check from the insurance company. So all I'm doing is waiting on to receive the check from the insurance company, and this will go into the body shop. Probably going to get everything ready, going to remove the bed caps and the bull rings, get ready, and I'm going to pull the bed off, I believe, and just give him the bed. I think that way I can still have my truck and utilize it. I haven't really 100% decided what I'm going to do, but I believe that's kind of where we're headed. And I don't 100% know yet. They did offer me a rental car while they are working on the truck, so I may just turn the whole truck over to him and go from there. But I am going to go ahead and have the whole bed painted while I have it off, or while he has it off, and then, you know, the remainder of that will be on my dime, which is fine, and that'll just be, you know, one step closer to my end goal, which is having the whole truck painted. I am going to go back with that same blue. I do like the blue very much so. The only thing I may change up when I do paint the truck, I might two-tone it. So if you guys have any comments down below, please, you know, let me know. I'm thinking of going with like a blue and silver. Maybe not the PS2 that's traditionally that Dodge uses, that silver, but maybe like a grayish silver, like a gunmetal. I'm not real certain, but what I'm thinking of doing is I've saw some guys where they have this body line right here and it follows all along there, and then it'd be just maybe a 1/4 inch below this bed rail right there, or that bed rail cap. So the handles will get color matched. These obviously be blue, and the mirrors will obviously be whatever color I so choose that'll be on the top of the truck. So you know, I don't know. So if you have any comments, comment down below. You know, if you have anything that you want to add, let me know. What do you think? Should I two-tone it or just leave it all one color? I'm not certain. Next thing, I did go ahead and decide to go with a roll pan. I know I talked about doing just the bumper and keeping the hitch that I have, since there's nothing wrong with it, but the more I got to thinking about it, I was looking on LMC. Their roll pans are actually cut for the hideaway hitches. So it gives me kind of an opportunity there to basically build my own hideaway hitch, and then I'll obviously film all that and show you guys what steps and process you need to do to build your own. But you know, I have my welder right there. It does a phenomenal job. It's 220. It'll weld up to a 1/2 inch thick. Yes, 1/2 inch on a single pass, or you know, up to 1 inch on multiple passes. So I'm pretty certain that I'm gonna, well, not pretty certain, I am gonna build my own hide hitch. What I think I'm going to do is, it's just gonna be basically, you know, 2 inch box by, I believe that's either, I think that's 1/4 inch wall or 3/16. I'm not sure, I'll have to measure it, but I'll probably get 1/4 inch wall. And then the only thing, this will just sit right inside the frame rails, because this is just a C-channel frame rail up in there, so it'll sit right in the frame rail, and basically it'll come out right about here, which is perfect. So after I purchase my before I do anything, before he gets a truck, I'm gonna go ahead and purchase my roll pan and get that coming, and then get that fit on the truck with the hide hitch. As you probably cannot see me because it's so bright back there. Anyway, get that coming, and with the hideaway, and then I can get my hideaway hitch made and then get the roll pan fitted. The only thing I'll have to do is push that bed rail out so I can, you know, get that roll pan somewhat mocked up, and know exactly where, or at least held in with some clamps or something like that, so I know exactly where that hide hitch will be within reference the hole that is in the roll pan. So did you grasp all that? Comprehend any of it? So anyway, let's go grab some tools and take the track bar bushing out of there, or the track bar off on that end. It should just be basically dropping it on that side, pulling the bushings out, and putting all the new stuff in. So I don't plan on taking the whole track bar out, just taking that end off and putting all my new corresponding bushings in. So on my specific track bar, it is the bolt is a 13/16 and the back side is a 7/8. And of course I don't have a 7/8 wrench, so I'm going to use my adjustable wrenches here. Hopefully I can get it off with that. Alright, with the bolt out, you can pull the track bar down. And since I have the Heim joint on the other end, I have plenty of give and play. Looks like I'm going to be using, yep, I do have the right bushings in there, so we just got to get these poly bushings out. Probably have to grab a screwdriver or pry bar or something like this to get these pulled out of here. I've got a broken screwdriver here, so I'm going to try and use that to drive this bushing out, hopefully. Like so. There's the bushing is out, and then it's just a matter of getting the poly bushing out. Before I take and cut one end of that poly bushing off, I want to check and make sure everything is the right diameter. It looks like it is. So now what I'll do is I'll take a knife and just cut one end of that poly bushing off, and push it out to the back side. Okay, with one side of the poly bushing cut off, just take your screwdriver that's broke or a punch or something like that and just drive it out. With the old one out, I did bring my grease gun. Put you just a little bit of grease on one side of the bushing. And push it in. Take some grease and put on the other side, and push this side in. Then we'll grab the new bushing with the appropriate size bolt that you need. It comes with two different bushings here, to whichever size bolt you have for your track bar. Just see which size that you need to put in there. Take you a little bit of grease and put on that, well, it's not really bushing, kind of a anti-crush sleeve. Get it all lathered up. And put it in there also. And then your track bar can go back up in place. Get your holes lined up. Now I'm going to take my bolt just so it's easier, and I'm going to put it into the back because I can put my screwdriver or a drip pin, whatever you might use, and put it in there to line your hole, get your holes lined up. And then just give it a tap in place. Just like so. Put the washer and the nut back on. I end up grabbing another socket and a breaker bar to use on the back side, so I'll just switch my sockets around, which is a 7/8 and a 13/16, and put everything back together. Throw some grease in that joint. Wipe off the excess. What we're left with is basically the old poly bushing, and I was 100% wrong. I just couldn't see the splice in the center just because of the amount of miles is on it. It is two pieces, so all you really needed to do is maybe get a punch or something like that and try and get into that edge of that center and pop it out. Or like I did, I just took my utility knife, I cut the one side off and then drove the whole thing out the back side. That was the old anti-crush sleeve that was in there. I used a new one of those. The kit actually comes with two different anti-crush sleeves. It comes with two sets of misalignment spacers if you would need them. In my application it does not. This is also good for an 03 and up, I believe. I'm not 100% on how many years it does work, but this is the extra stuff that's left that I will save because you never know when you might need some of this stuff. As I was underneath my truck, I was looking up at the turbo blanket and I noticed there's some soot on the back side. Now I'm hoping it's just that V-band clamp back here is loose or is pushed to the side from where I got hit. I hope it did not crack the back of my turbine housing, but I do need to pull that blanket off and check it out. I did have a question on the turbo blanket. Everything's been working pretty good. This is the one that I bought maybe about a year ago, and by the way guys, I have officially been on YouTube for 1 year. I only have about 72 videos uploaded, but I have officially been on YouTube making videos for 1 year, so happy birthday to me as of June 14th, I believe it was. So and happy real birthday to me on June 29th. Anyway, going back to the subject at hand. I don't know if the turbine housing is cracked, or if just the V-band clamp back there has come loose and has let the downpipe come off to the side when I got hit, because the exhaust was pushed clear up in here, and then it did break one of my hangers here. So I welded that hanger back up and thought everything was fine, but I am going to pull off my turbo blanket and make sure there's no cracks in the turbine housing, because that is a supplement that we'll have to write through my body shop to get my turbo replaced. So if it has to be replaced, I don't know yet until I get it off. I don't think you can see it from the back side, or the top side rather. I don't know real well. Maybe you can see that angle right there. There's a bunch of soot like around that area over in there, and I'm just kind of concerned that maybe, but I do have some soot on top right there too, where that V-band clamp comes together. So I am going to be pulling off this blanket, probably maybe later tonight sometime, to see if there is a crack in the turbine housing, but I hope there's not, because I really don't want to have to replace my turbo. But I have talked about replacing my turbo and putting something just maybe a little bit bigger on there. Right now mine is a 5765, 57 on the compressor and 65 on the turbine. So I'd like to maybe go up to a 60 millimeter on the compressor housing. Right now, if I turn my comp box up, I am choking out the turbo because I am dumping too much fuel. So any suggestions, leave it down and below. I appreciate it very much. Anyway guys, I think that's going to do it for right now. One other thing, I was searching around, watching some different channels and stuff, and I ran across a channel called Pure PanoRAMa. He has maybe about 50, 40, 30 more subscribers than I do, but he puts out some pretty good content. He has a red 02 second gen also, so check him out. He's getting ready to put an HX35 on. He's having rebuilt and basically doing his own version of a cheetah, like that Fleece has. So you guys get a chance, check out Pure PanoRAMa. I'll put a link in the description below for his channel, so you can just head right over there. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Hit that like button. It will help the channel grow and help me get to the top of the list when you guys search. And hit that subscribe button. Until next time guys, we will talk to you later on. Bye-bye.